Rivers State House of Assembly sets up committee to look into oil spill in Aleto.
The spill is still on, it has not been stopped.
Nasarawa State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress wades into the State House of Assembly leadership crisis.
The family will, from time to time, needs to brief itself about what is happening.
And the Child's Rights Act comes under scrutiny for the African child.
Every child should have the right to education.
A warm welcome to Parliamentary News. I am Lami Ali. Those were the headlines and now the details. The Rivers State House of Assembly has set up a 7-man ad hoc committee headed by the Deputy Speaker Dumel Mao to investigate the issues of oil spill in Aleto community in Eleme local government area of Rivers State. Nkiru Onyejesi reports that the petition was presented by the lawmaker representing Eleme constituency, Igwe Ofoji.
Presenting the petition on the floor of the House, Igwe Ofoji stated that nothing has been done by Shell Petroleum Company to contain or stop the spill, while adding that all the surrounding rivers and canals have been affected by the spill. He notes that it has also affected the livelihood of the people, causing untold hardship to our Aleto community.
For now, there's no casualty, but the danger of it is that you can never tell because the spill is still on, it has not been stopped. So it is a matter of urgency that Shell will have to go there immediately to stop it so that we can avoid any casualty.
The petition, however, prayed that SPDC should take urgent steps to immediately stop the spill and send relief materials to the indigents of Aleto community. The 7-man ad hoc committee was given 3 weeks to report back to the House. From River State House of Assembly, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
A 7-man ad hoc committee has been set up by the Oyo State House of Assembly to complete investigations into the allegations against 2 local government chairmen and a vice chairman earlier suspended by the 9th Assembly. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole has details of this and other proceedings as the commencement of the plenary of the newly inaugurated 10th Assembly in the state.
After the adoption of the vote and proceedings of the inaugural session of the 10th Assembly, Speaker Adeba Ogundoyin explained that the urgent need for the House to conclude investigations on the allegations that led to the suspension of Chairman Kajola and Shaki West local government areas, as well as Vice Chairman, is saying local government necessitated the formation of the 7-man committee. The committee, chaired by Peter Ojedokun, Ibarapa Central and North State Constituency, has the other 6 members spread across all zones in the state. The Speaker also announced names of 4 more principal officers of the House, in addition to earlier appointed 3 officers. They are Minority Leader Waliu Salami, Irepo Olorunsogo, Chief Whip Benga Oyekola Atiba, Deputy Chief Whip Adebisi Yusuf Ibadan Southwest 1, and Olasokomi Babalola Egbeda, who retained his position as Deputy Leader of the House. The report of a 2-day induction training earlier held for members-elect was presented by Leader of the House, Sanjo Adedoyin. The House adjourned sitting to reconvene on Thursday, 22nd June 2023 in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
There are indications that the crisis rocking the Nasarawa State House of Assembly will soon be resolved. This follows the emergency meeting held by the caucus of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state with the aim of restoring peace in the Assembly. Aliu Tijani brings us the details.
All is not well at the State Assembly since the inauguration of the 7th Assembly, with 2 speakers claiming leadership position of the House. The development does not augur well for APC in the state, and this meeting is to resolve the crisis. In attendance at the meeting are Governor Abdullahi Sule, National Chairman of APC Senator Abdullahi Adamu, former Governor Senator Umaru Tanko Almakura, State Chairman of the party, and former National and State Assembly lawmakers, among other stakeholders that constitute caucus of the party. Governor Sule reiterates his commitment to resolve the crisis and ensure one united House of Assembly.
It is a family, and the family will, from time to time, needs to brief itself about what is happening. Good or bad, we may be able to know what is happening in order for us to have a sense of direction, and that's what makes us a family. There is no family that is trouble-free. There is no family that will say they will not have one kind of misunderstanding or the other, but it is normal, to have those, and it is normal actually to scale through once you are having those kind of issues.
Hours after closed-doors deliberation, the state chairman of the party, Dr. John Manman, who briefs the media, says, though the matter is in court, efforts are being made to bring the two factions together and resolve all issues.
We've deliberated, and as a family, we all agree that the matter, since in the course of explanation, they are meant to understand, the stakeholders are meant to understand that the matter is in court, and it's only the court that can decide otherwise.
He assures that there is no crisis within the party, as the leadership impasse in the State Assembly will soon be resolved. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
And from Sokoto comes the report that the Sokoto State House of Assembly has resumed plenary and adopted House Standing Order of the 10th Assembly. Nuruddin Abdullahi Adili has more.
The adoption of the order followed the adoption of a motion by the Deputy Speaker Kabiru Ibrahim, member representing Kori, and seconded by Buhari Haliru of Sokoto North 1 and Kabiru Dauda of Gada East, among others, who seconded the motion. Kabiru Ibrahim said the order is the guiding rules of the 10th Assembly in line with the provision of Section 101 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. A House of Assembly shall have the power to regulate its own procedure, including procedure for summoning and recess of the House. With the adoption of standing order, he said the House will be well guarded in the conduct of its constitutional responsibilities. The motion was unanimously adopted by the majority vote. The House also received 2 letters from All Progressive Congress, APC, and People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the nomination of their members in the 10th Assembly as principal officers. APC has Bello Idris of Godaba North as House Leader, Mustafa Abdullahi Deputy House Leader, and Abdullahi Zakari as Chief Whip, with Abubakar Shehu for the Deputy Chief Whip. The PDP nominated Abubakar Magaji Bodenga for Minority Leader, Atiku Liman of Silame, Deputy Minority, while Habibu Haliru Modachi of Isa for Minority Chief Whip, and Abdullahi Muhammad Randa for Minority Whip.
Today we have adopted the standing rules of the House. Any organization, most especially House of Assembly that is very much concerned with rules and laws, must have standing rules to guide their activities. And that is exactly what we have adopted today.
Really, we have to adopt it because we need a guide. The standing orders is the guide of our activities. Therefore, that's why I give my contribution in support of the motion that the existing standing orders of the 9th Assembly be adopted by this Honorable House so that it will guide us in conducting our business.
In Sokoto, I'm Nuruddin Abdullahi Adili, NTA News.
We take a break now. There will be more reports when we return. Do stay tuned. Thank you for joining us again. The 16th of June annually remains the Day of the African Child, which is set aside to commemorate and explore ways to better the lot of children in Africa. This year is no different, with the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs bringing together school children to interface. Mamso Domiandati has the details.
Let the government support the children when they do not have mother or father.
Every child should have the right to education.
Right to privacy, right to safety and protection.
Girls should be given the right to go to school. We need to protect ourselves no matter what so that we can survive.
Children from the nooks and crannies of Abuja coming under one umbrella to commemorate Day of the African Child.
Some children commit suicide from interacting with bad content, with bad people, making bad friends on Facebook and all of that. The Child Rights Act has been passed, and then the Data Protection Act has also been passed into law. We need active participation of all the stakeholders in implementing and ensuring that we enforce those laws.
The Day of the African Child is celebrated in memory of the 1976 student uprising in protest against the poor quality of education they received and demanded to be taught in their language.
The world is becoming more complex. Technology is becoming the order of the day, and nations are going digital. African children must not be left out.
Even if it means the child should just only operate his computer and try to get some information that will help him or her through his academic development.
Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
All right, to share insights into the rights of the child in a digital environment, we have Irene Aunaike. She's the sustainable development expert working with women and children. Irene, thank you for joining us on Parliamentary News.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now a look at the plight of the Nigerian child. How far do you think the Child's Rights Act has gone to address the situation of children in Nigeria?
Okay, first and foremost, I would want to say that the Child Rights Act, which in some states is called Child Protection Act because of how it suffered, acceptability after some states started domesticating it in their various state house of assemblies. As it is today, the status of the law is in the whole country, only Bauchi State has not domesticated the Child Rights Act. Those CSOs and other colleagues of ours in that location are working towards it, and they have promised that this 10th National State Assembly will ensure that they domesticate that in their state. However, Nigeria, it's a multi-cultural with a lot of diversity, and so the status of the law as it is, it is not quite, it's not applicable to every state, and that's why every state, have been trying to make amendments so that it suits their locality. Like for instance, Bauchi, where I mentioned, the law was not accepted because when they heard the name child rights, they felt it was anti-cultural, anti-religious, and it also was going to give the child the right to also even take legal actions against their parents. So it was a total misconception of what the law was about. So a lot of sensitization, advocacy, went into play in various states in Nigeria to ensure that the law, is being accepted and domesticated in various state house of assembly. I will add that in terms of digital rights and rights of acceptability, of privacy for children, that the law needs to be rejigged. I mean that it needs to go back, for amendments to require that we caption the digital life of a child, because the world has evolved and tech, it's the in thing, and our children, the Nigerian child, spends a lot of time in that digital space. So we need to look at the law and see how the law protects a child in the digital space. The law gives the child the opportunity to get information and share information, and restrictions, and then the boundaries that are supposed to be set to ensure that the child is being protected from harm and other vices on the digital space.
All right, now almost all the states in Nigeria have domesticated the law. We want you to tell us the factors responsible for non-implementation, because we know that even in states where it has been domesticated, there are issues with implementation in relation to acceptability by parents, in relation to enforcement by authorities. So how do we get out of it?
Some states that have domesticated this law have not been able to implement because some are political will. Then the other is enforcement agencies. Enforcement agencies have not also been well at home with the law. So there's also need for more advocacy and sensitization and exposure to that law. Most of the time when there's a crime against a child and the police are involved, they find it difficult to apply, the law for prosecution. And so we would advocate that government do more in saying that they equip the police, they train. We are partners and we are CSOs, and we are ready to work with government to ensure that we give enough knowledge and then dissect that law in a way that every policeman who is responsible to enforce any crime against a child, is well abreast with the law to take action. And then in other instances, we have cultural issues, that have caused a lot of strong barriers, against the implementation of this law. And as I have said, we are such a diverse nation that even though we have tried in various locations to see that we domesticate the law to suit our various localities, there is still need to look at that law once again and see, areas where the law will look more in uniformity. And it is government's responsibility to ensure that the law serves the purpose by saying to it that it is uniform and implementation is also uniform. Lastly, I would want to say that if you look at the law, we, the civil society, have always talked about the penalties. There are very, very light penalties in that law. We hope that if the law comes on board for review, let us look at stringent penalties, to protect the Nigerian child. Because the Nigerian child is vulnerable, once you say it's a child, the child is at the mercy of whoever is an adult in the child's space. And so the law should have more stringent penalties to ensure that implementation is effective.
We live in a tech world, and the children are vulnerable in that space. We have the Child's Rights Act in place. You talked about amendments. Now, when those concerned come to amend the law that is in place, what should be the rights of children in the digital space?
Okay, this is going to be a holistic approach because government has responsibility, parents, guardians, and their learning environments also have responsibility. And then even the private sector have responsibility to ensure that the boundaries of children sharing information and getting information from this digital space, it's been identified and then put in place in the law to ensure that the child does not have access. And any platform that gives children such access should be sanctioned, for not, adhering strictly to the laws. It is very important to say that there are lots happens in the digital space. both good and bad. And the Nigerian children spend a lot of time in that place. You cannot you cannot cut off the tendencies of them drifting from their actual academic space, like the Zoom classes and Google classes, into social media spaces where they have access to other things that, like pornography, that they shouldn't have access to. If we don't do something decisively to ensure that while a child is in the digital space for studies or some other reasons that are genuine, the child shouldn't be able to get into those other spaces by
there should be protection.
There should be protection, yes. And then we are talking about data, which is very, very important. A child's age, should be able to be recognized while the child is in the digital space, to be able to know that this is a minor and the child is not supposed to go into a certain place. So a lot of this will have to put in place. And then the infrastructure, because when you start talking about data collection and all of that, it's important to understand that we need a lot of communication infrastructure in place. Digital communication, I mean to say, in place to ensure that that is visible and achievable.
We thank you very much, Irene Auna Ike, for sharing your thoughts with us on the rights of the African child and the Nigerian child in particular.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. 24 members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly have been inaugurated as Mr. Blessing Egbegbaku, representing Owan West constituency, emerging as the Speaker. Obeyi Otobo Aprisai reports that the State Deputy Governor, Phillips Shuaibu, and other top government functionaries witnessed the inauguration.
The Clerk of the House, Yahaya Omogbai, presided over the inauguration by taking the roll call, which confirmed the presence of all the 24 lawmakers. He also presented some documents confirming that the members have fulfilled all the necessary requirements and are therefore eligible to partake in the inauguration.
The Commission under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Whereas it is provided in subsection 3 of section 105 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, that the person elected as governor shall have power to issue a proclamation for the holding of the first session of the State House of Assembly immediately after swearing.
The members-elect, who include 2 females and 22 males, later participated in the nomination of members for the position of Speaker and Deputy Speaker, which was conducted without rancor.
I, Blessing Egbegbaku, Sheriff, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In his acceptance speech, the Speaker says the needs of their constituents come first.
We will do our best to help the development of all sectors of the state economy for the betterment of the people. Let me assure you, my colleagues, that as a team and with your support, we will introduce far-reaching programs and innovations to put the State Assembly on a good, sound footing.
After plenary, the newly inaugurated lawmakers were received amidst joy by their supporters.
The promise to my constituency is I'm reassuring them that everything I promised them, I'll make sure that I work towards them and make them happy.
We did have promises for our different constituents. Now we are on board. It's time for us to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people that voted us.
An event witnessed by everybody in Edo State, with all of us complete in a broad daylight,
so colorful, so beautiful. So of course, expect those things we said when we were campaigning.
To ensure that our democracy is deepened, we are excited and we will deliver to Edo people.
Out of the 24 lawmakers, 14 are of the PDP, 9 are APC, while 1 lawmaker is of the Labour Party. In Benin, Obehio Toba Presai, NTA News.
The incumbent speaker and member representing Ningi Central constituency of Bauchi State House of Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, has been re-elected as Speaker of the 10th Assembly in that state. Nasiru Umar Jarun completes the report.
The incumbent Speaker of the 9th Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, was re-elected as Speaker of the 10th Assembly, while member representing Bauchi Central constituency, Jamilu Umar Dahiru, emerged Deputy Speaker.
As Speaker of the Bauchi Central Assembly, I will perform my function honestly to the best of my ability. I, Jamilu Umar Dahiru, affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
Thereafter, all the 31 members elect were inaugurated in line with the provision of the Constitution.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
In his inaugural speech, Speaker of Bauchi State House of Assembly Abubakar Suleiman called for the support and cooperation of members towards provision of purposeful representation that will bring about deployment of Bauchi State.
The management and staff of the House of Assembly, Service Commission, and the House of Assembly, I wish to call on you to join hands with us to make our work more simpler, timely, and efficient as well. The success of the 10th Assembly largely depends on your contribution as the two soldiers.
With 9 re-elected members, the 10th Assembly has the majority of PDP with 21 members, and APC has 9, while NNPP obtained 1 seat at the Hello Chamber. From Bauchi State House of Assembly, Nasir Umar Tirun, NTA News.
And that does it on this edition of Parliamentary News. We thank you for watching. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Lami Ali, thanking you for your time. Have a good evening.